look at this. Here is the top prosecutor in the land, Loretta Lynch. She was speaking to black journalists about police-community relations. Watch this.
We have to see law enforcement officers and entities themselves saying, as they often say to me, they'll say to me all the time, you know, we don't accept bad police behavior. We get rid of people who cross the line. And, you know, and I will say to them, that's great. And I've seen that because I work with law enforcement. And I'll say, but, you know, the general public does not see that.
Right.
You know, you need to understand that people do not have that perception of you because they do not see that.
Okay. Cleveland Police Association President Detective Steve Loomis joins us again on Varney Company this morning. All right, Detective, I'm trying to read between the lines, trying to understand what was going on there. Let's see if you agree with me. It seems to me that Loretta Lynch was saying, look, in the court of public opinion, you police officers are guilty. And that's what she was saying to black journalists. Now, have I got it right?
Yeah, that's what it appears like, and she couldn't be further from the truth. She is absolutely wrong, and it's leadership like that that divides this country and makes things very difficult for police officers out here. You know, we come in contact nationwide as police officers, come in contact with 1.1 million people every single day, and less than 1/8 of 1% of those encounters end in some type of violence. Do the math on that. It's a ridiculous notion, and she should be ashamed of herself.
But the perception is that the police-community relations are deteriorating. That is the perception, I think, of most people in this country, and that accounts for this racial divide, which seems to be getting more extreme. What should Loretta Lynch be doing, as opposed to what she did actually do?
She should be talking about the positives that law enforcement offer the country right now, the good stories. We don't do a very good job of getting the good stories out there. We're proposing right now, that we have a bunch of 15 and 16-year-old kids that want to be drivers. Put something positive in the driver manuals and test them on how to react and how to act when police officers pull them over, not just pull over to the side of the road when a siren's behind you, but what they need to do to keep themselves safe and to keep the police officers safe. You know, there's positive things that we can do in this country to advance that, and she's not doing that, and neither is the president.
Well, right after the Dallas ambush, the police chief in Dallas, as I recall, stood up and said, hey, look, you guys who are protesting, put on a badge. Come and join us. We're hiring. You can be part of the solution. I think that was greeted across the country with people saying, yeah, that's the way to go. That's what we want. You with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, don't sit there and complain about everything. Come out and fix it if you think it needs fixing. I guarantee you the people that come out and become police officers are going to see things from a different perspective very, very quickly. And, you know, there's a lot of positive things that we can do in this country to change the perception. And I'm not a big fan of perceived notions, especially when they're advanced by political figures and the media. And there's a lot more good being done by police officers across this country than there is bad things.
One last question. From where you are now in your everyday police activity life, are things getting worse or better in terms of your relationship between the police force and black people?
You know, I don't know that it's black people. We're greeted constantly. I've never in 23 years had more positive interaction with police or with the public than we do right now. It's a very, very small portion of the community in a very large world that are screaming the loudest and unfortunately getting the attention of the media and everybody else. But the vast majority of citizens in every single neighborhood in this country are law-abiding citizens that respect the police, that want the police in their neighborhoods, and they know that we have a very tough job, and they're very supportive. They're just the silent majority, and I think you're starting to hear a little bit more from them now.
Well, that's
and
good
I hope
news.
that continues.
That's good news, because the news has been dominated by the activists who are saying things are getting worse and you're bad guys.
Yeah, and the activists supported by, you know, Loretta Lynch and President Obama and, you know, movie stars and everybody else. You know, it's a false narrative. We've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's a false narrative. Ferguson was absolutely the worst thing that happened to law enforcement in my adult lifetime. And that was a lie that was promoted by then Attorney General Holder, the President of the United States, and it was allowed to continue and fester into what it is now.
Okay.
And, you know, nobody ever came back and took that back, and that's not fair to law enforcement. We do a good job out there every day.
Steve Loomis, thank you very much for joining us, sir.